guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's video. And guys, I got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about the weedless wacky shot rig, which is probably one of the best limit getters of any lure I've ever used. It's fairly new. Core Tackle came out with this here recently, and I'm going to go over and give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it and the type of areas it works in, how to rig it up. Very, very unique setup here, so I think it's going to add up to some good fish for you guys after the end of this video. Also, guys, a real quick reminder that Solarbat has got this Founders Day sale going on, my Signature Series glasses. Right now you can get them 30% off, including you get a free hard case with any purchase you get over $98. And if you use the promo code RandyB, capital R and capital B, free shipping and handling. So I'll put the Solarbat link in the description of this video if you guys would like to get you a pair. Really appreciate that. And also, guys, thank you very much for everybody that's taking time to hit that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Subscribing and liking and sharing the videos is a good way to support the channel if you're inclined to do so. So big thank you if you've been doing that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this, guys, and I'll show you the rig. Then I'm going to show you how to set it up and everything, talk about a little bit how to fish it. Now, this is the wacky shot rig, guys. You can see it's got the lead affixed to the shank of the hook right here, about halfway down. It's got a really good spiral keeper right here that locks your soft plastic into place, and a nice weed guard here. This makes it extremely unique because you can fish this thing in very heavy cover, and the the mid-level position of the weight that's affixed there, it makes the bait shimmy and wobble down like you don't ever have if you got the lead on the end of the hook or in a different position. This gives it a super, super unique lifelike fall that you can't duplicate on any other thing. When you see this thing in the water, it's like the worm will shimmy down just like that as it's falling. Looks just like something live falling through the water. So that's the weedless wacky shot rig. And guys, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video to the weedless wacky rig. You guys can get them through my Tackle Warehouse link if you guys would like to get you a couple packs there. Okay, now the bait that you want to use most of the time is a soft plastic stick bait. This is the Zoom's Linky here. You can also use, I've caught them on the Zoom trick worm, but you want to have some type of a straight-tailed worm on it. And based upon what you're trying to do, either the 5 or 6 inch model or even a 4-inch model, I'm going to talk about when the 4 and 6 inch model works good on this based upon the situation. But the first thing you always want to do is make sure you rough up your plastic there. And this is really critical because it does a couple different things. By roughing it up and you bring the salt to the surface there, you're going to make this bait a lot more pliable, and it's going to have a lot better action. Just looks a lot more realistic in the water. And also it changes the color a little bit. It makes it look more natural. So spend some time roughing it up a little bit. And then what you want to do is you want to come through the middle of the worm, just, somewhere during the mid part, reel it up there, and then you're going to carefully thread it on. I usually pull the weed guard back like that, just pull it back to get it out of the way. And you want to just take your time to thread this thing on. You want to usually put it about, to where you can't see any of the coils. Make sure those coils disappear. Start to get awkward getting a hold of it there. About like this. And guys, this thing, the way that sets on here with the coils, you're not going to pull this off. This is one of the great things about this. You're not going to hardly go through any soft plastic. It locks it in position right there. And more importantly, the technique I'm going to talk about here revolves around skipping this bait in there. And a lot of times when you're skipping a bait, if you don't have that lock in place right there, you're going to lose some worms. So that's a really good way to do it. Put it in there, then take your weed guard, put your weed guard in position. So that's the setup with it like that. What the difference is, it's a wacky rig setup, but the head with the lead right there allows the bait not only to get more action, but it allows you to fish it in a lot more of a diverse amount of depths. If you're fishing just a regular wacky rig, the bait falls super, super slow, and it's difficult to get the bait down deep or on a windy day. So the little bit of lead on the head right there makes it super, super versatile to fish even down to 20 foot, yet it's light enough where it skips like a rock. So that's the setup there. And most of the time, guys, I've got it on my Mega Bass Levante whip snake spinning rod. right here, you want some type of a spinning rod, 6'11", 7 inches long. I'll link this in my Tackle Warehouse link too. And most of the time I've got it on 8-pound test, Seaguar and VizX fluorocarbon line. If I'm skipping like exclusively around docks or something, I may go to 10-pound test because of the, the wood around the docks. But most of the time I like the way it skips with 8-pound test. And I use a variety of different colors of worms. Watermelon or green pumpkin's always really good. I've had some pretty good success also on some type of a baby bass or a salt and pepper color. But that's the setup, the way that I got it right there. Okay, now given that, let's talk about where you want to fish it and sort of how you want to work the bait and everything with that. Normally what I'll do is once I make my cast with it, based upon the type of thing I'm fishing, I shake it on the way down. So see my rod tips just vibrating like that? I'm just shaking it. And by shaking it like that, you not only get the natural action of it falling on its own, but it even makes it look more alive. So you don't want to like do anything as far as reeling it. As it's falling like that, just shake it on the way down. Now this can be anywhere between 3 foot deep down to 20 foot deep. So just always shake it like that. And once it hits the bottom, when it touches the bottom, just continue shaking it just like that in one place and pull it a little bit like that. Maybe pull it like a foot or so, shake it a little bit more, pull it like that, a couple more feet, shake it a little bit more. Now, if you don't get a bite after the bait hits the bottom and you work it maybe 5 or 10 feet, reel it in and make another cast, because on the weedless wacky shot, most of the time they're gonna get it as soon as that bait hits the bottom. It's like they're gonna get it right then or when you just start moving it. So don't waste your time like making a long cast and working it all the way back to the boat. You can be a lot more efficient by working it, I just work it like 5 feet or so. I'll work at 5 feet, I'll reel in and I'll make another cast, to try to get that more aggressive fish to bite. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where you want to fish it and the type of areas it works good in. The number one success I've had on this particular bait is around boat docks. And it doesn't matter if the dock is a piling type dock or a floating dock, deadly around boat docks. And it's also deadly around boat docks anytime the water temperature is over about 55 degrees. So given that, it works from about, March up until maybe even to December. Don't catch any fish on it really that much in the winter time of the year. But like I said, the dock fishing is going to be good all year long, spring, summer, and fall. Probably going to be a little bit better in the springtime of the year simply because there's more fish that use that shallower water. But also, guys, the bass love to use docks, the shade of docks in the summer and the fall time of the year. That's where it's really good with that. And try to skip this thing in the hard to reach areas. It is weedless, so you don't have to worry about it getting hung up. So if I'm on a floating dock, I'll skip it like underneath the walkways, I'll skip it up in the boat slips, I'll throw it down the sides of the docks. And if it's a piling type dock, I'm trying to get that worm to skip far as I can back into the shady areas of those piling things. Now this is also super deadly on a lake if you've got piling type docks with spotted bass in it. Like all you can do is fish Lake Norman, Lake Hartwell, for floating docks even, deadly on spotted bass. Another technique that works pretty good, guys, is fishing it suspended around things like bridge piers and wave breaks and tire reefs. You take, if I'm fishing it for suspended, I'll downsize to a little 4-inch model and I'll usually go to the baby bass or the salt and pepper color. Take that thing on a bridge pier or again, a wave break, get you a little 4-inch salt and pepper bait and just throw it out there and just shake it on the way down. Those fish will hit it suspended on the way down. And finally, it's a really good structure bait. So if you're fishing, say for example, Texas rig worms or dragging a football head jig on points, like main lake or secondary points in 10 to 20 foot of water, take that weedless wacky shot and throw it out on the same type of areas. Throw it around brush piles or drop-offs or ledges. It works just the same and even better than the Texas rig. Since it's a little bit more diminutive and finessey, it's a really good bait to mop up after you've thrown the football head jig and a big crankbait or spoon or something like that. But anyway, guys, it's really a unique deal. It's just another really good product from Core Tackle. Man, Core Tackle has got some of the most innovative products of anything out in the market. Core Tackle Weedless Wacky Shot Rig. Again, I'll link it in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. And just pick you up a couple packs, man. Give it a try. I think you guys will really like it. So really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll check in later.